Thank you everyone for coming to my talk today. I'm really grateful that we have this space to share our knowledge of everything we've learned before coming here. Last time I was here, I noticed there was a lot of wild weeds around the farm that I was previously working with at a medicinal garden in the university I was attending. And so I kind of put together a presentation of a few of the herbs and what they're doing for our health. And then it got really busy, so I never did anything with it. And then coming here again and then seeing how we had been using some of the herbs as teas. And then going through this pandemic right now, I realize how important it is to come back to the plant medicine, because over the last 100 years, our ancestors have kind of forgotten and lost through the chaos and the wars the power of the plants. And, you know, the ancient wisdom, they didn't need the science to prove the power of the plants. They just used them for teas and for oils and different concoctions. And so we lost that over the last probably 100 years or so. So I'm not a clinical herbalist. I was planning to become a doctor, so I was pre-med at my university, and I wound up getting involved with the College of Pharmacy, and they specialize in medicinal plants and pharmacognosy, which is a drug of natural origin. So we were actively studying the organic chemistry and the compounds in the medicine and how it proves and the science behind what it creates. So 2 powerful drugs that they're working on right now. One is actually a flower that I've seen a lot in people's yards here in Australia. So it's called Madagascar periwinkle. It's a beautiful pink flower. And we're currently working on creating an anti-cancer drug with the active compounds in the flower, which is really beautiful. And then so I'm from Rhode Island, and our state tree is the red maple, and they're currently also conducting studies for the red maple leaf as a diabetic drug that helps regulate glucose functions, which is really amazing to see. You know, we have lost a lot of the plant medicine and we moved more towards pharmaceuticals, but there still are science trying to work with the plants and creating more plants. Not everyone will adapt the plant life, but if we make it into a drug form for some reason, a lot of people will be receptive to that over plant medicine. So that was my work with the medicinal garden. I was growing and caring for, but also learning and studying the active compounds and properties of plants. So I'm going to start with a few just powerful herbs that we know and use or pass by every day, like in the kitchen or in the garden. So the first one is oregano. It's known as the Roman goddess of love. It brings in calm, clear, and strengthening energy. It's known for its immunity and gut health. It's antiviral, antibacterial, and antimicrobial. Really powerful for this time we're going through right now. It's easing colds, flu, fever, especially respiratory infections. It's good for combating digestive yeast and parasites within your gut. Helps with indigestion and weak digestion. And it also helps bring on late and sluggish menstrual cycles. And it's really powerful because you can cook with oregano, you can steep it in hot water, or you can also make oil concoctions out of these herbs. So with steeping, you just get the fresh leaves or dry leaves and put it in water and let it boil for 10 to 20 minutes. With an oil infusion, which you use topically, or you can use it in your cooking, or you could use it on your skin. You could make creams, oils, balms, and for that you just put it in a jar with any kind of oil. You could do like almond oil, sunflower oil, olive oil. Leave it in the sun for 2 to 3 weeks with the herb, and then you just strain out the herb and you can use that oil on your skin and your cooking for whatever you want to do. It's also,
I wonder if this, like, I haven't gotten my period in a couple months, and all of a sudden I just got it last night, and I was like, oh, and it is to everything, but I just have been taking oregano oil because of the virus. I wonder if that
That's so
actually
weird.
made me get it. Like, I mean, it could have been
That's
weird
crazy.
timing, but
For sure.
I don't know if it works that fast.
Well, I think plants are really powerful, and if you were taking shots of it, that's like a very potent form of the oregano.
And it's the essential oil or something.
Yeah, if it's the essential oil, like the extreme potency.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
guess.
plants are really, really powerful. And when it's not the really extreme, like essential oils, it does take longer to work. Like if you have the essential oils, it's more quick because the potency is higher. With taking herbs, it does take time and consistency, and you also have to really wholeheartedly believe that this is helping you no matter how long it's taking. Our ancestors, the Native Americans, the indigenous Australian tribes, they didn't question the herbs. They knew what its remedies were, and they used them. Nowadays, people are skeptical about the flowers and the plants and how it doesn't work or if it really truly works, so they want science to back it up, which comes into play. The Plants for the People book I got here in Byron Bay, but she is a herbalist here in Australia, and that's exactly what she found out was they're doing a lot of research right now into proving that these plants work and that they can be clinically trialed. But in reality, ancestors have been using this knowledge for so long, and it's really important that we just come back to believing in the power of the plants and using it to our advantage. We can just easily grow all of these things and then harvest them or use them or get them from our local herbalists. And instead of looking outside to doctors and hospitals, I mean, they are great for certain factors, but we're relying too heavily on them because the knowledge is really within and with nature. And when you come to a point of realizing that nature and your body can heal, it's really beautiful. Yeah, oregano is super helpful right now for bringing on menstruation, but also helping with the respiratory infections going on right now without the world in the cold and flu season. Another really beautiful herb is rosemary. It's also known as the dew of the sea. It has really powerful antibiotic properties for the sinuses, respiratory, and digestive infections. Topically, it's pain relieving. So when you make an oil infusion and you're putting it on your body on certain pain points, it directly acts on nerve endings and pain receptors, which works with your nervous system to reduce pain and inflammation. Rosemary also works as a digestive aid if you have it as a tea. It eases your belly upset, cleanses and tones the liver by promoting bile discharge, and the volatile oils will help the body expel gas and have an anti-inflammatory effect upon the mucus lining of your digestive tracts. It's also a powerful brain tonic. It enhances memory and concentration, and it's a cerebral antioxidant. It's really good for ADHD, Parkinson's disease, and Alzheimer's. Soothing the nervous system of anxiety, depression, and insomnia. It also improves pore circulation, and it stimulates hair growth. So for stimulating hair growth, you would make an oil infusion and rub it on your scalp, and your hair will come back. Sage is another really beautiful herb that I've been burning almost every day. Kind of bringing in the good spirits and getting rid of the bad. Its Latin name means to be saved. It's an antimicrobial, which is immune boosting, and it's a great tonic for colds, flus, and fevers. It's anti-inflammatory for mucous membranes, and it decreases excessive secretions like a runny nose if you were to drink it like a tea. It also balances the hormones, promoting estrogen flow. It enhances memory and concentration, and it helps stimulate digestion and the liver to help break down food and lower your cholesterol levels. Combining oregano with thyme tea when feeling a cold coming on will help get rid of it. You can do probably 3 cups a day. My local herbalist recommends when you are battling something, having 3 cups of a tea a day, preferably before or after a meal, will really help get whatever you're trying to get under control fixed. But when you are drinking teas, like a signature tea, we recommend that you take at least 1 or 2 days off in the week from drinking your teas when you're trying to cure yourself of something. A lot of these herbs, as safe as they sound, can be contradicted if you are pregnant. So if you are taking and drinking a lot of teas, I'd definitely talk to a midwife or your doctor into what herbs are safe for you to drink. Peppermint is one of my favorites. So it's a stomach soother. It's rich in menthol and volatile oils, which makes it antibacterial and antimicrobial. It calms the nervous system and also the digestive system, assisting the immune system, reducing germs, and helping to clear infections within the body. Topically, you can use this oil, and it will reduce skin irritations and also pain, as the menthol will melt it away a bit. I also like adding it to chocolate to soothe my belly after eating a meal. Mix this tea with fennel seeds to help the full belly relax. Really beautiful flower is purple coneflower, which is known as echinacea. So this one's really powerful for lifting the spirit and boosting your immunity. Again, very powerful for antiviral, antibacterial, and parasitic infections. It works with clearing the lymphatic system. So cold, flus, pneumonia, and it even improves skin conditions. And some treatments for cancer. It improves digestion infections like candida, which is a yeast overgrowth. And it helps with chronic fatigue and speeds wound healing recovery. So a few powerful, potent things that I think we all have in the kitchen is garlic and ginger. These are so powerful, and ginger is known as the great medicine. It's antioxidant rich, anti-inflammatory. It's really warming, so it's really great for stimulating your respiratory system, any colds, congestion, asthma, bronchial infections. It increases the circulatory flow, relieving pain in the body. It repairs and soothes, balances blood sugar, and lowers cholesterol. It's helpful for painful or delayed menstruation as well. It's best when it's a root or a rhizome like ginger to boil it for at least 20 to 30 minutes to release the properties outside of it. It's a little bit different than the dried herbs, which take about 10 to 20 minutes to relieve. So garlic is also known as the stinking rose or a Russian penicillin. Garlic is basically a really powerful antibiotic, but we just use it for mostly cooking. I was working at a juice bar and we had this shot, and it was chopped up garlic, apple cider vinegar, ginger juice, and apple juice, and that basically clears anything you have. Garlic is so powerful, and when you put it in a juice or you're having shots of it, it completely takes over the flavor, but I think it really clears any kind of congestion or ailments you have relating to cold and flu. It's antibiotic, antimicrobial, and antifungal, and it's rich in minerals and amino acids. It's known to ward off the bad and evil spirits. Moving mucus from the body, it also aids in cardiovascular system, decreasing high blood pressure, and normalizing cholesterol levels. Its sulfur-rich compounds activated once the garlic is crushed. So I would try and crush the garlic. Fennel seeds are one of my favorite seeds for digestion. It's said to bring courage, longevity, and strength into your body, said the ancient Greeks and Romans. It eases digestive and respiratory ailments. The seeds can be powerful as a tea, but you can also chew the seeds after you eat to help your stomach kind of settle. And it also freshens your breath. And then there's cinnamon. So cinnamon is a body tonic that's really easy to mix into your daily routines. It balances your blood sugar, alleviates common colds, and relieves digestive spasms. Cinnamon.
Wow. So cool.
It warms your blood flow to the uterus, and it's easy to add into smoothies, soups, teas, porridges. It's a really beautiful antioxidant. I think we have Tulsi here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? We have Tulsi here. Tulsi is known as the queen of herbs. It's an elixir for life, and it's also called holy basil. Brings blessings, good fortune, and longevity, harmonizing energetic anatomies like the chakras and the meridians. It's an adaptogen, cancer supporting, and immune boosting. Anti-stress remedy as well, relieving the nervous system, balancing stress hormones, and repairing vitality in your body. It increases stamina and resilience, balances blood sugar levels, aids liver detoxification, and harmonized digestion. In Hinduism, it is the embodiment of the goddess Tulsi.
Cool.
What does adaptogen mean?
Adaptogen. It enhances the inner defenses against harmful impacts of stressors on the body, supporting the ability to adapt to stressors while promoting physiological functions. So it's basically helping your body defend against any kind of invader, whether it be virus, colds, similar to like free radical damage as well. Yeah, there's a lot of terminologies like antibacterial, antibiotic, antifungal, antihistamine, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, and antiviral, which I say quite a bit here. So I figured I'd write it down if anyone wasn't sure what any of these crazy words mean. Because they're used a lot in these powerful plants. Like, we were taught our whole lives to just go to the doctor and rely for antibiotics and for this and for that, when really we could have just gone into the garden and had some wild weeds or some tea from our herbalist instead of going to the doctor, paying all this money for antibiotics and ruining our insides. It's just really crazy to think that our society has kind of forgotten the power of the plants and the knowledge behind it. I think
Can the antibiotic plants also kill the good bacteria too? Are they not that
they
strong
can
enough?
kill the good bacteria, like oregano is very powerful, but I don't think it's as powerful as the chemical formulated antibiotics. And I think it's a natural substance, so your body will be quicker to adapt back versus being completely wiped clean. The potency of it will get rid of some of the good and the bad, but your body will be easier to come back from it. Because it wasn't a complete foreign invader of a chemical compound, it was more of a natural enzyme. I started really diving into medicinal plants when I stopped taking birth control to help me get my period back and balance my hormones. And a few really beautiful herbs that I found here around on the farm were red clover and red raspberry leaves. And these were some of the flowers and leaves that I had in my teas that I got from my herbalist back at home to help me bring back my period. So red clover is a wild weed. It's known to have mystical powers, protecting against dark forces. It's mineral rich with iron, calcium, copper, magnesium, manganese, selenium, vitamins B, C, beta-carotene, bioflavonoids, and isoflavonoids. It detoxes and rebuilds the body, and it helps clear lymphatic congestion. It's an active cancer treatment and prevention. It's great for respiratory complaints and colds, and it's powerful female tonic for PMS, breast tenderness, and regulating the cycle. It's great for blood cleansing, skin clearing, indigestion, and high cholesterol. It's known for asthma and bronchitis relief, and it contains hormone-like effects which can help with STDs. Topically used on the skin, it helps with sores, burns, eczema, and psoriasis. Red raspberry is a really beautiful one because we mostly harvest it for the berry and we leave the rest of the plant, but actually you can use it as a tea. So the whole plant is a medicine, from the berry to the leaves. It's a natural multivitamin with minerals. So it's vitamins A, B, and E, with minerals are magnesium, potassium, and calcium. It's high in tannins, so it tastes similar to a black tea, but without the caffeine. It's a uterus-centric herb, powerful for female reproduction, strengthening and toning the pelvic wall, sending a wave of relief to the feminine force within. It normalizes menstruation imbalances, irregularity, and PMS. Before birth, if a mother drinks it, it will induce relaxation of her mind in the womb, preventing miscarriage and birth complications. It also helps ease belly aches, blood sugar levels, blood pressure, adrenal fatigue, sore throats, cold, fever, and it also, for the men out there, it supports prostate health. Not all for the women. One of my favorite herbs for when I make topicals like lotions, creams, salves, I love calendula. It's part of the daisy family, and it's known as herbal sunshine. It helps those feeling low in need of a lift. It awakens us to shake off unnecessary burdens in our life. Relieves lymphatic congestion, supports detoxification, and helps unburden our liver. With that, it helps with IBS, food allergies, and intolerances when it's taken orally. It's hormone balancing, normalizing regular or painful menstruation, and topically it soothes the skin of inflammation while encouraging tissue and cellular regeneration. Dandelion. Woo! Dandelion. She is full of might and perseverance. Mineral dense, high in potassium and vitamins A and C. She replenishes not only people but the soil. A blood cleanser, detoxifying, digestive aid. It also helps with bladder and kidney infections, moving stagnation and inflammation from the body. She supports liver-connected emotions, which would be anger, frustration, and rage, and also congestion of the mind and the body. Dandelion greens have iron, calcium, magnesium, and potassium in them, and the roots have soluble fiber, supporting growth and maintenance of a healthy intestinal bacterial flora. Roots can be dried and used as a coffee substitute. It's really high in antioxidants. Licorice root. Has anyone here had licorice root before?
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's sweet.
Straight from the ground, it's like so intense as well.
It's so sweet. It's really lovely.
We're gonna grow it.
Yeah, that's our next herb, licorice. It's known for regeneration. Builds up vitality, strength, and energy. It's a sweetener for harsher herbal teas, and it works on the endocrine system, balancing androgens, adrenal fatigue, and balancing blood sugar. It's a sweet adaptogen to those needing restoration from the yang, fast-paced way of life. It's an antiviral, antimicrobial, and anti-inflammatory, soothing, coating, and protecting respiratory and digestive systems, while also improving the functions of the bladder, the liver, and the kidneys. Topically, it can be used to soothe and moisten the skin. I have a few large barks in my room, and those are actually used to clean your teeth. So you just chew on them. And that's how I think in ancient India, I mean, some people probably in India still use that, but that's what they use instead of toothbrushes to clean their teeth. They would chew on licorice sticks. The small bits of the bark are best to be boiled at least over 30 minutes because they're very dense in potency, and you'll see the darker color rise. When you have a really strong medicinal tea that you're either creating for yourself or you buy at the store, adding licorice in will really sweeten it up and make you enjoy your tea. So, when I was whippersnipping, I realized that I was killing off these beautiful flowers that look just like chamomile. But apparently they're not chamomile. They're called feverfew. And it tames tension in the mind, headaches, dizziness, nausea, and light sensitivity. It's really uplifting and soothing to the body. It's an anti-allergenic, decreasing histamine relief. It's used for common colds, flu, and fever, and it harmonizes blood flow for menstruation, for cramps, arthritic, and skin conditions. It's a cooling effect. It looks very similar to chamomile, and we have so much of it growing here. And I just was chopping it all down with my whippersnipper, and I was crying inside. Because it's a powerful plant. And I wish that I was able to harvest it, but when you're whippersnipping, you don't have time to harvest flowers. You're just kind of whippersnipping. But that also brings chamomile to my mind. So chamomile is a beautiful yin, soft, feminine energy. It's sweet and easy, giving the nervous system a sigh of relief. It's helpful for irritability and sensitivity. It brings on a feeling of serenity. It calms digestive complaints, motion sickness, teething for infants. It also helps with asthma, colds, flu, seasonal allergies, promoting sleep and wound healing, aiding in digestion, and giving your mind a sigh of relief. So a last few herbs before I go into some Ayurvedic herbs. Nasturtium, which we have right over there at the side of the bathroom. It's a really beautiful flower. It protects and harmonizes. It's best used fresh, and the whole plant is edible. It's known as the poor man's caper, with a peppery taste. It's uplifting and a natural antibiotic, effective on respiratory and urinary systems. It's high in vitamin C, and topically it can be used for fungal infections or just as a general disinfectant. Aloe vera. Inner gel of the leaf soothes and heals the skin, stimulating dermal collagen and elastin. When taken orally, using the yellow lining underneath the skin aids in sluggish elimination, heals gastric ulcers, stimulates bowels, and balances insulin levels and cholesterol levels. Adding it to smoothies, soothing the skin, belly, and the liver. So that was most of the common herbs that we see every day or that we work with. But when I was digging a little bit deeper into my own healing, and when I went to India, I started discovering some really ancient herbs. And I use them mostly as a powder form versus all the other herbs I talked about. I would recommend using the flower or the leaves. But I think these Ayurvedic herbs are really powerful and potent as a powder. You can add them similar to a chai, kind of just mixing it all in and drinking it all. So Shatavari is the goddess of herbs. It's also known to the name of having 100 husbands. It's a feminine energy tonic with a cooling effect. It's really great for any kind of overheating of the body or the mind. It's anti-inflammatory, digestive and immune boosting. Helps the body cope with stress, both emotional and physical. Really regulates and helps promote fertility. I know someone in India who wasn't able to have children because she wasn't getting her period for a really long time, and she started taking Shatavari, and she wound up getting pregnant. It's really powerful for bringing on your fertility. Ashwagandha, I would say, is like the opposite of Shatavari because it also brings in testosterone to the body. So it's a bit more on the masculine side, but it does help regulate and promote menstruation if used in the right part of your cycle. So it's known as the Indian ginseng, or the strength of a horse. It's adaptogenic, anti-stress, regulating cortisol levels, aiding in your adrenal glands, antioxidant, anti-cancer, immune stimulating, wound healing. It's vital for energy, improving sleep and nervous system. It's mostly known for anxiety, stress relief, fatigue, and removing any pathogens from the body. And the last one I actually had to talk with Julian about it. I called it Triphala, but he was calling it Triphala. So in Ayurvedic medicine, there are 3 different doshas, which we all are one main dosha, but then we have different levels of the other 2. Triphala is known for balancing all 3 doshas, as it's 3 different dried fruits from India that is known as the nectar of life. It's a powerful detoxer, especially for digestion functions. Regulates bowels, cleans the system, supports skin healing, antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and antibacterial. I have a lot of it because I got so much of it when I was in India, so if anyone's interested in trying that, I have it mixed up with some turmeric from India when I was there. I think herbs are really powerful, and I'm so grateful to you guys for listening to me talk about the powers of the plants. One last plant that I really love, has anyone heard of marshmallow? That was when I first started discovering plant medicines. I went into this herbal pharmacy, and that was the first one that caught my eye, and I was like, what? Marshmallow root? Like, that's a really strange, like, who knew where, marshmallow to me was just like a little sugar square that you eat. But it's actually used to be a really powerful and potent medicine for digestion, for skin health. And yeah, that's the power of the plants. I recommend, like, you can start out using common herbs that you know are good for certain ailments, and then when you're ready to dive deeper into your own healing, going into a beautiful herb shop. Not relying so much on the supplements, because I feel like the supplements aren't the most potent way or the most natural way to receive the medicine. The best way is to either grow it and harvest it yourself or get it from a local herbalist who is growing the herbs or getting it from a really powerful source. Because these medicines are powerful if used properly and harvested properly. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Really good.
And it's all on paper now, and I have this beautiful book. If anyone wants to look anything up, if you have any questions about any ailments, these plants are here for us, and it's time to take them back into our powers as well.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.